I mean, we are going to present the biggest tax cut that America has seen since Ronald Reagan ran for president in 1980. That's a big deal, and it's going to be a supply-side thing, and I'll just get that off my chest. A couple things. I just don't think that the income inequality card is going to work this time for the Democrats. It's worked for them in the past, no question about it. But they've got big problems with that narrative right now, in my opinion. The biggest problem they have with that narrative is they've been in charge for the last 8 years. Over the last 15 years, under Bush and under Obama, the average middle-class family has not seen a pay raise bill in 15 years. And that's dreadful. I mean, and in fact, the average middle-class family has lost income. When you focus and you obsess on income inequality, you actually make things worse. And our theme is going to be basically, this is a sort of JFK, Ronald Reagan, the growth gap between how much the economy grew under Ronald Reagan, under free market policies and growth policies, versus Obama, which has been all income redistribution. You're right about that. The growth gap between the Reagan agenda and the Obama agenda, if we had had the kind of recovery we had under Reagan, under Obama, we had $3.5 trillion more GDP this year. If we get this right and we promote American energy, and I'm not talking about building windmills. I'm talking about using our coal and our oil and our natural gas and our nuclear power. Within 5 or 6 years, the United States of America can be, and Trump is going to say this in a speech, not only can the United States be energy independent for the first time in 50 years, we can make the United States of America, this great, great country of ours, the energy dominant country in the world. That is to say, we can be the Saudi Arabia of energy for the next century. You're talking about 6 to 8 million more jobs, and many of those are union jobs. I think Donald Trump has a great chance to go to these industrial unions and say, I'm the one who wants to expand the jobs for your unions. It's these lunatics over here like Tom Steyer and Hillary Clinton who want to put you out of business. Because what Trump is he's like Uber to the taxi cab industry, right? I mean, he is a disruptive force. And my God, look, we need a disruptive force in Washington. And I don't want to offend anybody in this room because I know a lot of us like me live in Washington, D.C. But when 3 of the 4 wealthiest counties in America are in Washington, D.C., there's something damn wrong with this country. One of the big concerns has always been, who he's going to put on the Supreme Court. And, one of the things, I want to lay your concerns. If you look at those 11 people that he, suggested, those are all people that were suggested by the Federalist Society and the Heritage Foundation. So you can't get, much better than that list.
We could have the most conservative court in history.
Putting a budget together right now that is going to not only pay for the tax cut, but balance the budget within 6 and 7 years. And to do that, you've got to make very significant cuts in those kinds of programs. I mean, my God, why do we need an energy department? I mean, really, all the energy department has done for the last 25 years is made energy prices more expensive. So get rid of it. Well, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to borrow a really good idea from John Kasich, which is just block grant all these programs, whether it's job training or health care or medical services, and just pass all that stuff back to the states. Let the states deal with welfare. Let them deal with education, blah, blah, blah. And that has huge savings. And we're going to do work for welfare reform. I mean, here 1 out of every 7 people in this country have to rely on the government to put food on their table. And that's because what we have built up in this country is an incredible entitlement state and this kind of victimization. And that's got to end. And we're going to go after those programs. We want a list of about 50 to 100 executive orders that Obama has passed that we can repeal on the first day in office. 50, as many of them as we can, and with a strike of the pen, because Obama has so many illegal executive orders. If we come in and repeal those, that's going to be like an injection of performance-enhancing drugs right into the economy. Obama, it's not even the laws that he's created, and the laws have been horrible. It's the people that he had put in these institutions, whether it's the FDIC or the FDA or the IRS. He has infiltrated every single agency with hardcore anti-business leftists. And their core every day is to not help businesses, but to try to put them out of business. And you change those personnel, and you create a kind of pro-business environment. I really believe if Trump is elected, this economy is going to boom. when the left attacks him for bankruptcies, for example, it really signifies that they don't understand the first thing about business, right? They don't understand the first thing about business. I mean, I've started 3 businesses in my lifetime. 2 of them failed, and 1 of them was a success. And by the way, the first 2, if it hadn't been for the 2 failures, the 3rd one probably wouldn't have. You learn a lot from your failures, right? The only people who think, failing in business is some kind of crime are people who've never started a business before.
He could add, and I don't think he'd say it this way, that failure is essential for innovation and growth.
Exactly.
If you don't learn from your mistakes, you don't learn anything.
Exactly. Our school system is a total abomination. It needs to be complete. I mean, what I've told Donald Trump is just take the $50 billion in the Department of Education budget and let's give, 10 million $5,000 vouchers to the lowest income people in America. I mean, that would do more than anything to help with that. And when Barack Obama says you didn't build that, and Hillary Clinton says that businesses don't create jobs, I mean, that whole attitude of being anti-business is just sucking the lifeblood out of our businesses.